Good morning, everybody, and good evening over there in London. Today I have Tony here with Viktor. That's getviktor.com. Without further ado, we would love if you can introduce yourself and what you do.
Yeah, actually, it's no longer getviktor.com. We bought the domain last week, viktor.com. So yeah, we made it. We also announced our fundraise today. So 75 million Series A led by Axel and a bunch of really helpful and intimidating angels. People like Lenny from Lenny's podcast, the founders of Slack. So you got Cal and Stewart, founders of Deal, Framer, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, we're very happy. We're very fortunate. And yeah, it's Viktor.com, the AI coworker. I can tell you more about what we do and why we built Viktor.
Yeah, please do. That's exciting. There's always exciting updates from you guys every day. It seems like things are moving fast over there.
Yeah. So Viktor is a AI coworker you hire. It's not software that you configure. You install Viktor in Slack or Microsoft Teams, and you onboard Viktor as if like you would onboard a new teammate. You give it access to your Gmail, your CRM, your Stripe, Linear, whatever you use, and then it runs your ops end to end. So it can do inbox triage, customer research, pipeline updates, weekly reports, like whole Slack channels. Essentially, we're bringing the promise of AI to normies. So Viktor's plug and play. Like if you heard about OpenClaw or any of these personal agents, we built Viktor as the first multiplayer agent that lives where you work, which is Slack or Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So yeah, today we're talking about, potentially getting business owners to the 10-hour work week. Before it was just like a book. I think you would sell people on to try to get them into entrepreneurship, but now it's probably a reality actually with tools like Viktor. So I guess what does this actually mean with having a tool like Viktor and the ability to automate a lot of tasks, almost as if you have a digital employee, if you will?
Yeah, honestly, I'd say 10 is the headline, not the number I defend. So what's actually happening is you stop showing up to the mechanical layer of business, like weekly reports, the meeting prep, the CRM hygiene, or follow-ups. Like those hours don't disappear; they get reassigned to the coworker, Viktor, and then you can do the judgment-heavy stuff. So like pricing, hiring, positioning, the 3 hard customer calls of the week. So it's kind of same working day, but completely different mix. And that's why like Viktor is the best hires don't need to be told what to do. So you just add Viktor, and once you start onboarding Viktor starts picking up stuff for you because Viktor is proactive. Viktor spins up its own computer for your workspace and starts learning your workflows, the whole context of your workspace, who is who in the company. So yeah, not a 10-hour work week exactly, but all the annoying and just repetitive stuff disappears. And over time, even sometimes you might sometimes I'm wondering if am I the intern or the AI is the intern, right? Because it's becoming so impressive at what it can do.
Yep. Yeah, we've noticed that ourselves too. We've used Viktor a lot, and we love how it works. Viktor is very proactive, so he actually does reach out. He's kind of listening for opportunities for him to step in and help, if you will.
Yeah.
Nice. So I guess what's the biggest misconception founders have about automation and AI agents today? I feel like still a lot of small business owners haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet.
I'd say that it's set it up once and walk away. Just because most founders or people still approach agents like they would approach Zapier with more IQ. So you wire up the triggers and then done. And real adoption looks like hiring an operator, like a junior operator, where month one it's a bit messy, but you're correcting outputs, you're teaching the edge cases and building trust. And then month 3 is the compounding. So really thinking about how to give as much context as possible. And over time, teams who treat agents as an employee win. Like teams who treat agents as a feature, they would churn from Viktor in 2 weeks. So yeah.
Yep. So I guess the goal is really the goal is to work less, I guess, right? So does this allow you to operate at a completely different level, or do you think I guess, sorry, different question. Where do founders and operators waste the time, most of their time with AI agents that can be realistically eliminated by agentic tool?
Let's say top 3 spots are status reporting loops. So like the Monday state of the business that we pulling all the numbers from Stripe, building a dashboard. That like takes human 3 hours, a human pulling all the CSV together and like having a nice, that would be one. Inbox and pipeline hygiene. So triaging 80 emails and updating 40 HubSpot records by hand. Meeting prep. Anything that that has some sort of logic that you could teach and you can just give in words to an AI it's a waste of time. So once it's done, once you kind of done it yourself 3 times, I'd say explain it, write it down, and give it to an agent. And an agent will most likely do, and you check it once or twice, but don't waste time doing repetitive stuff.
Yep. Is there any unique edge cases that you've seen people use Viktor for? Maybe not like some of the headline use cases like you just mentioned, but what type of edge cases have you seen that were pretty interesting?
Yeah, so one is interesting. Viktor takes care of all the parking tickets for one of our users.
I could always use that.
The cool thing about Viktor, there are no limits. So if you, as I said, like if you can describe it in words, and there's a tool that does part of the job, you just connect Viktor, and Viktor's going to do it for you. Yeah. It's that simple. So Viktor does. We have a plumbing company, and Viktor does the whole commission reconciliation, and also they connected. There's also a company, it's fucking wild, trash collection company in California, where Viktor is connected to the tracking system on all the trucks, and Viktor navigates the whole fleet and tells the drivers like where to go, what to do, et cetera, et cetera.
Jeez. So I guess why do most teams fail to automate? What are they getting wrong when they try to implement a tool like some of these agentic tools out there? Whereas maybe Viktor might be a little bit easier for them to integrate.
Say they skip onboarding, so they plug in the agent the same way they would plug in a SaaS tool. So yep. Account created and done, and then you think you just play around it. No, but an agent like without context is a new hire without no desk and no SOPs. Like. Yep. So, and that's one. And second failure mode is they optimize for cost instead of quality in month 1. So I'd say the smart model that gets the 95% right of the time is 10x more valuable than the cheap one that gets it right 70% of the time. So wrong outputs destroy trust faster than the price tag. So really don't optimize for cost instead of quality. Viktor is available on all most of the large language models, but still works best if you go for Opus 4.7.
Yep. And I guess what kind of integrations do you guys have today? You mentioned Microsoft Teams, Slack. Do you plan any other types of integrations in the future? You have 3,000 other integrations that work with Viktor too, right? But what are the primary like working channels that Viktor's going to be working on in the next year or two?
So Viktor is going to stay in the near future in Slack and in Teams because that's where most teams live when it comes to work. And then Viktor integrates over 3,000 tools. And if Viktor is not integrated with a given tool, then Viktor can build up its own integration via an MCP. And looking at there are requests for Viktor to be also available on WhatsApp. It's big, especially in Asia, right? People run their businesses by that. So we're gonna roll it out at some point. But for now, it's very much focused on SMB and enterprise, which is Slack and Microsoft Teams.
Yep. Where are you seeing the most value? You finding like enterprise companies are signing up more, or do you find a lot of SMBs are coming on board?
So right now, it's pure product-led growth on our side. We recently had a salesperson start just reaching for the enterprise customers. Yep. But I would say it's mostly SMBs that need they need help with the ops, the stuff that like no one could handle. And the interesting part is it's not the people in San Francisco or New York. I mean, they're also using us, but it's businesses in Iowa or Texas there's a landscaping business in Iowa with 40 employees, and there's this lady, Krista, who runs it, and she just needed an additional pair of hands. And she saw one of our Instagram ads and started using Viktor, and now she's going crazy. And she never touched the terminal. She doesn't even know what a CLI is. She just needed something just to talk to and get stuff done for her. And that's why the idea of a coworker that lives in Slack is so amazing, because we don't see any limit. Like we think, like, we treat Viktor, or like our mission is to build the AI for everyone else who cannot build their own agent, or set up a Mac Mini with OpenClaw.
Yeah, it's almost a no-brainer for any startup these days too, just to be able to work with these agentic tools to maybe cut some of the costs down that it might require from hiring employees to really get their product to market and start scaling right away.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through a real example of an AI agent replacing hours of manual work? You mentioned the trash company. Is there any other use cases that you want to cover?
Yeah. So for single player, definitely a big one, so Viktor has permissions. So you can add Viktor to different channels, but you can also talk with Viktor in your DMs, and you can connect Viktor to your inbox, and you can tell Viktor if it's only you who has access to it or the whole team. So if it's your personal, if it's your personal stuff, Viktor can do your triage your emails, reply to your emails, but also Viktor can manage all your tickets, be it in Linear or Jira. You can connect Viktor to your GitHub. So Viktor can do, you can build workflows around the admin heavy stuff in your day-to-day in your job, but also you can use Viktor for a more multiplayer setup where Viktor orchestrates becomes the product manager of an engineering team, where Viktor is told literally like, hey, this is the product sprint for the next 2 weeks. Viktor fields tickets to engineers. Viktor reviews the PRs for each engineer, and then pings people when he finds issues and gives a status report to leadership. So the idea with Viktor is running a company of 5 like you would run a company of 200 people. So you can, that's basically giving the power for teams to just run lean.
So what do you think that's going to do for the job market in the future? Sounds like a lot of teams are just going to be able to hire all these agents and get a lot more work done than what their hiring needs would require.
I think it just creates more opportunity for people to do more. Just as I never met an engineer, but also just frankly anyone who is like kind of out of ideas. It's always a question of like time versus like. And I'm actually at a conference right now. It's an Anthropic conference, and there are engineers from all sorts of companies like Personio, Spotify, all the big banks, and no one's firing right now. They need more people because you can just do way more with AI. And when Viktor takes off the plate, the stuff like, create this report. Like you don't need a data like science person to run dashboards for you, but that person could probably be used for conversion work on your website.
Yeah. Any fundamental shifts you might see in the market going forward? Maybe the way people approach business or how they approach marketing, things of that nature.
People will probably stop. Well, that's a good question. Like how people. I don't know. I'm amused every day by the things that are being posted. So we have a Viktor community. We have over 500 customers there, and people we have the show and tell channel, and people post examples of what they're doing with Viktor and how their businesses are changing. And I'm just astounded every day. So I just literally have no idea how this is going to change business, but I'm more on the optimistic, like this is going to impact us in a good way, and it's going to shift the way how the job market looks like. But on a I don't know if you heard about this concept, and there's this book by this sociologist, Bullshit Jobs. Like you probably know someone who's been just sitting at a desk job and pretending they're typing emails all day. Like that's probably going to be gone, because you cannot pretend that you're doing something like that's totally not adding value. An agent could do that. The question is like, hey, and this person is out of this misery. What are they going to do? But I definitely think there is an element of kind of adapt, or like, I don't know if you've seen this on Twitter, like not gonna make it, like, yeah, like you should probably get on, like be interested, like come from a place of hope versus fear when it comes to using these tools, learn them, and try to like coexist versus like blocking yourself completely.
Yeah, I'm generally optimistic as well too. Every technological shift like this always has like an initial, fear factor in the early stages, and then everybody figures it out after that. But yeah, thankfully, a lot of those corporate jobs where people aren't actually doing any work will actually get filtered out, and they'll bring in people that actually want to use the AI tools and actually get the work done.
Yeah.
How do AI agents handle messy, unstructured tasks compared to like clean, rules-based workflows? I feel like one of the biggest problems with people is that they're terrible at communicating. So if they don't know how to, the best people at working with AI always are great communicators. They know how to ask for what they want. So how would you approach that if you're working with an AI agent? You have unstructured, messy data. Is there a better way to work with it to be able to get, allow it to complete the task efficiently?
Number one, break it down. So don't try to one-shot it. So if there are pieces of the unstructured data or something that you want the agent to complete, there is most LLMs, and even with Viktor, you can just enter, because Viktor runs on these, you can just say, hey, let's enter plan mode. So first, plan out exactly what you want the agent to do, explain it clearly, tell it to ask follow-up questions, and then once you're aligned with the agent, like what needs to happen, then press like, okay, now go. Because once the agent starts building, it can, and that's the main complaint for people who are not very careful or like thoughtful about how they deal with agents, is like, oh, I just got some slop, and like this doesn't work. Like, of course, like if you had some new person come in, like say someone from a different department, and at your company comes over, and you just tell them like, and I'm working in finance and this other person is working in legal, and I'm saying, hey, I need to build out like a dashboard to forecast Q4 revenue. Go. Of course, this person is going to be like, what? Like, give me context. So there's, you probably the phrase like context engineering, like it is so important. So, and the cool thing about agents like Viktor, and agents in general are becoming better at this, is they are good at interpreting natural language. Like what they don't, like, at the very beginning, you'd have to be very careful and like break it down into sub points and be very deliberate about what you want. Now you can kind of, as if you would like voice note your friend. The more you talk and the more details you give, doesn't have to be structured. The agent's gonna know what to do.
Yep. And in many cases, it'll also like ask you for feedback and iterate what your question is. Like Viktor's very collaborative in that way.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good. So I guess what does a modern AI first operation stack look like for a startup today? Obviously, a lot of it could start with having an automated employee like Viktor. What other recommendations would you have there for a company?
I'd say thin. So I'd say not like 14 point tools, but just one agent layer that sits across everything. So you keep your system of record, your Slack, Gmail, HubSpot, Linear, whatever, and then the agent lives as a coworker on top. So the shape that's winning for us, it's like Slack as the UI, and agent handling work across integrations, a couple of dashboards for humans to watch. But the AI first stack is just less stack, not more overall.
Yep. And it's really about the integrations, like you said, which is why you guys focus on integrating directly with Slack and Teams where people already do their work today. And then you have all those extra integrations that people can work with outside of that. So you have that single layer, right?
Yeah, and I mean, rip and replace is, I'd say, is a fantasy because your team, I see like the winning move is an agent that just joins these tools and not another app that they have to open. So think of it as like a new hire and then uses your existing stack. And it's not a consultant who wants to migrate you. Like Viktor won't tell you, hey, like suddenly you need to stop paying for all of this stuff and I'm going to do everything for you. So I'd say that if the answer is how to adopt this, it's not like change everything first. Like you need to see it as like an actual, and that's why like this whole narrative of like, are we going to be replaced by AI? It's somewhat true to an extent, because you're adding AI on top of the tool stack to orchestrate and do stuff for you.
Yep. Do you see any certain types of software tools that might go away or lose relevance with what some of the capabilities that agentic tools have?
I don't want to be quoted on this, but I think that
It's the question
yeah.
of the day in the whole industry.
Yeah. Well, we see like bigger picture, a lot of companies building in-house certain types of software because it's fairly easy to. I mean, of course, sometimes you want to stay with a vendor, but there are companies that are building their own internal Slack. I mean, the question is like, what's the point? But if there's a business case and if there's money to be saved, then yeah, we'll see way more businesses building their own internal CRM, for example.
Yeah.
But the most sophisticated stuff, and it's also a question of just like opportunity cost as a business. Like, do you want to dedicate your engineering resources and also spend money on tokens to build out say a new CRM for you, or you wanna just go with a vendor who has a support team who can do like most of the stuff that you need them to do and just outsource it, right?
Yeah, I always feel like some of those calendar tools maybe go away. With AI tools, you could easily connect with your calendar and then figure out like good times to book and everything. So some of those like simple like SaaS tools might be able to be replaced by some of the capabilities of agentic tools.
Mm.
So is there any risk with over automation where I could see a startup founder easily being like Viktor is like the best thing in the world, and they just use it for everything? Is there any sort of risk at all with over automation, especially for early stage companies?
Yeah, definitely too. I'd say silent errors at scale. So like one bad call is fine, but 400 bad calls is without noticing is very messy. And second one, actually more importantly, is skill atrophy on the team. So if nobody in your team has done a customer research call in 6 months because the agent does it, like nobody has the context to watch when the agent's going wrong. So I would say really like it's easy to get lost in, especially with Viktor, because Viktor can do so much for you and your team and can jump into threads and reply. And sometimes you might just like say, okay, Viktor's got it. I don't need to double check. I need to read through this. But you should probably, so yeah, over automation is basically outsourcing about a QA layer. So same fix as with humans, like clear guardrails, regular review, and humans on top of the loop on like high stakes calls.
Oh, I like that. How do you ensure accuracy and reliability when AI is making operational decisions?
3 things. So you only automate where you can spot check. So if you can't, if you just can't tell whether the output is right, like you shouldn't be running it unattended. 2 is you keep humans on the approval loop for anything that leaves the building. So like emails, invoices, customer-facing posts. That's just for sure. And then 3, you measure. So you track output quality the same way you track a new hire. So accuracy rate, review time, trajectory over weeks. And so the agents that improve are the ones with a feedback loop, and the ones that don't, you probably just don't use. So.
Yeah. So I guess, what if the founder fully embraces AI agents over the next 12 months? What does their role look like going forward? What are they no longer doing on the day-to-day? What are some of the first tasks that you think that, on average, that you're seeing your customers cut out of their day-to-day roles?
You stop owning the ops layer completely. Yep. Like no more, I'll update the CRM tonight. No more like running your own weekly report. No more drafting your own follow-ups. But you'd still own, as I said, like hiring, customer conversations that matter, roadmap calls, sales, like relationships. So you become the director, not the operator. For most founders, that's the role that always, they wanted, but they couldn't afford. So you stop doing the busy work. You stop being overwhelmed and sitting up all night trying to make sure that something is reconciled and this is connected properly. That can be outsourced.
Yeah, that or like spreadsheet analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's everyone's dream to get rid of all the operational tasks. People just want to get back to building, you know.
Exactly.
So I guess what's next for Victor? Obviously, a lot of exciting updates I just learned about today myself too. So you guys are moving fast over there. It seems like something news happening every day. What do you guys got coming down the pipeline?
So two directions. Number one is because we were building the AI for everyone else, we're building deeper into verticals. So we're launching Victor. We launched Victor for media buying. So Victor can run your Google Meta ads, and Victor has a predefined skill set for that, built by the head of growth at Whisperflow. But then we're launching Victor for customer success, Victor for real estate, Victor for construction companies. And we're giving specialized skills to Victor. So Victor becomes a truly plug and play and zero onboarding on your side. Victor is added to your workspace. You choose the skills that apply to your business. And Victor becomes the operator for that given vertical. And second is we also want Victor to be built not only by us, and like we for lack of a better word, like we're building a Victor army. Yep. So the vision is having 16-year-olds who can run to their corner shop or their corner boring business that could use an agent like Victor, and they onboard them to Victor, and they also make money off of that. Like we want to build we want everyone to be a Victor ambassador. So hopefully every business in the world, but definitely in America, there's no excuse for them to not have an AI coworker like Victor on board doing the stuff that, frankly, humans should be wasting time to do.
Yeah, that's okay. Sorry.
So and then there's a lot of cool like product stuff that's we're going to rolling out, and just really fine tuning and making Victor faster, cheaper, more efficient. But yeah, the vertical launches. So Victor's plug and play and is like a really more domain shaped agent for your choice, and then you can also create your own skills. So we're launching a skills marketplace, where if you want to make money with Victor and also share your knowledge and your skill set, you can submit a skill and start selling it to people who want to, like, you're a specialist in landscaping. We have someone actually who's already selling Victor skills for landscaping businesses, and you can buy a bundle. So yeah, that's also something that's interesting on the roadmap.
Yeah, it's really exciting. You guys are working on a lot of great things over there. And so people could pick up a Victor today now at victor.com, right?
Yeah, victor.com, $100 in credits included, free to start, no credit card required. You just add Victor to your Slack and literally talk to Victor like you would talk to a coworker. So you add Victor and you can say, hey, Victor, I'm doing XYZ in my day-to-day. What can you help me with? And Victor is going to tell you step by step what can he help with and what he can't. And you can also just integrate Victor to all the tools that you're using and say, hey, Victor, audit my setup. Like, am I missing something? Am I doing something wrong? We have a story where, like, a customer testimonial where this guy was setting up a new real estate development. And he had this whole plan and the legal and financial paperwork. And first thing he did, he dumped it onto Victor and said, Victor, is there something off? Like, could I be doing something better? And Victor found $4 million in savings for that guy. Wow. Yeah. And so don't be scared. That's the thing. People are kind of afraid of like, oh, like, what can I do with this? Like, it's literally like, talk to Victor like you would talk to a human being. Give us much context, like we discussed before, and let Victor do his thing. And we built Victor in a way that we also are very conscious of the part where we discuss, which is approvals. So if something that's a bit more not necessarily irreversible, but more dangerous, I'd say, or not the right word, but Victor is going to ask you for approval. So Victor, once you say, Victor, do this, like, Victor's not going to just go and one-shot it. Victor has guardrails to really, like, if you want to make this change in your CRM, if you want Victor to suddenly change all the emails of your customers in your CRM for whatever reason, Viktor won't just say, "Hey, I'm cool with it. I'm going to do it." It's like, "Are you sure? Like, do you want me to do this?" And once you give like approval, then Viktor's going to go.
Well, Viktor sounds like the perfect employee, and it sounds like the first hire that every company should have. Tony, thank you so much for coming on today. Once again, that's Viktor.com. You get $100 in credits right away, so no money out of your pocket to give it a go. Definitely a super valuable tool. We use it at NachoNacho. Recommend it to a couple other companies too that love using it as well. Definitely check it out today at Viktor.com, and I'll see you soon, Tony.
See ya. Thank you.
Thank you.